Just thought I'd do a quick video to accompany this encoding that I'm doing. This is my PC. Basically, it's custom water cooled. It's got three radiators. It's got a top one, which is an EK Coolstream Classic SE. It's 27mm. I chose it specifically because it was thinner, so it fit on the top. And then it's got two Thermochill PA120.3s, 360 rads. They're 60mm thick in the bottom, both side by side. The case is an case is a Thermaltake X71 TG, so basically a tempered glass side panel. I mean, most of the tubing's not perfect, but you know, it's good enough. The pumps are D5 Vario, basically XS PC, so one. It's got 850 watt ASUS Strix PS unit, and the graphics card is a RTX 3080 by PMY. It's got a bit of fan on top, custom heatsink and all that. Basically just to cool it a little bit better. I like overclocking it sometimes and benchmarking it. So anyway, I'm just encoding video here, and basically what I'm doing is I've got like about 4 or 5 jobs in my queue, and I'm using Handbrake, and it's basically I've maxed out my processor, which is 9900K in my BIOS, and top temps. I mean, yeah, it's here 90C, 92C, on 93 on a couple of cores, but basically it's running aggressive turbo settings, and it maxes out all cores and threads at 5 GHz, so everything's basically balls to the wall. It's not overclocked. I just don't think it could deal with the heat. To be honest, the 3 radiators. I mean, as you can tell, it's pretty loud. I've got let's see, I've got 3 Arctic P12s on one side of one of the radiators. They're sucking in through the first radiator, and then the other radiator, which is exactly the same as this one, is on the other side, and that's got 3 EK Vardar, which I think run at 2200 RPM. I think the P12s run at 18. And then the top radiator has got 3 EK Vardar running at 2200 as well. And I've got 2 black EK Vardar running at 1800, sucking in air as well. And I've got the window as well, because it's quite warm, and well, it's 19C here. I like it a little bit on the cooler side. So anyway, so I'm encoding video in Handbrake. Basically I've got like my own sort of, you know, I record basically through GeForce Experience with Shadowplay at my monitor's resolution for the, you know, for the VR. So basically it mirrors the image, but at my monitor's resolution, which is 3440 by 1440. So I mirror it, then I record with Shadowplay, and then I re-encode the video, downcode it, I guess, to 1920 by 1080p, which makes it into a usable size, so I can upload it. I record to my 500 gig Samsung 970 NVMe drive, which I mean, it's pretty quick. I mean, I don't get any lag or slow down from recording and running the game off the same drive. I'd say each, let me think now, each hour's gameplay is recorded, and it's about 10 gig, thereabouts. Yeah, about 10 gig, 10, 12 gig, something like that. And then basically when I downcode it to 1080p, it takes the file size down by at least a tenth. So, you know, it sort of knocks it down. So if it's like, I don't know, 20 gig, you know, an hour's worth, then it takes it down to like 2 gig or whatever, you know. I'm also using another program called Wondershare Video Converter, and what I'm doing with that one is I've got a couple of small edits that are only like 8-9 minutes. So what I'm doing is basically joining them. The problem with Fallout 4 and the VR version is that there's a lot of areas on the map that crash. One of the areas on the map that likes to crash is Croup Manor, and the others, the lighthouse. I think it's just something to do with the textures. I mean, there's no overclocking on the RTX card or the processor when I'm running the game. I mean, I've tried it with and without an overclock on that part of the map, and it just still crashes. So I think it's just part of the map. You know, like I said, some parts of the map crash more than, you know, others. So basically, I've got like a couple of edits on Croup Manor, and basically I'm just joining them. One file's 10 minutes and the other one's 8. So basically, like, there's a small sort of like 1 or 2 seconds in the middle where they joined, where it's sort of not there's no what's the word, what do we call it, continuity. You know, it sort of skips, but it's like 1 or 2 seconds. So anyway, I'm joining those two files together in Wondershare Video Converter, and then I'm using Handbrake and encoding, and I've got what was it, 10 minutes left, 24 minutes, 3 pending jobs. So as you can see, there's my 9900K, pretty much you know, maxed out. Well, I did have 9700K, but I specifically bought the 9900K because I wanted to encode on it, you know, make it a little bit quicker. So to encode, I mean, I guess it could get Threadripper. Threadripper's not sort of brilliant for gaming, I don't think. So you know, this is sort of like a jack of all trades. And then when I'm in the game, I've got a 7-inch panel that sits on my desk, and that gives me all sort of like information, like there's the temperatures on my 8 cores, and then the percentages of my 16 threads, and then this one's clock speed of my CPU, that one's the wattage, 150 watts, that one's memory use, so 7 that, you know, system RAM, so basically 7 gig of system RAM being used. That's my page file, so there's 10 gig being used currently. In Fallout 4 VR, I've seen page file use go up to as much as 23 gigabytes, 24 gigabytes, and then that's my GPU use percentage, 11% my temperature, my GPU 22%, sorry, 22C. And then I've got my CPU core, my GPU core, my memory clock, core clocks, and then I've got my VRAM use, how much drive space I've got left on my NVMe drive, which is useful. I can just lift the headset like, you know, half an inch and have a quick glance at the center panel. It tells me how much space I've got left on the NVMe drive. So, you know, if I want to sort of cut it short, or if I've been gaming too long and you know, I'm running out of space, I can just sort of, you know, pause it or stop the video or save it or whatever else. And then I've got like a frame rate counter. I mean, it's pretty basic, I think, compared to other people that use center panels. It uses AIDA64 to output the information, and it's a 7-inch panel, and I got it from eBay for 38 quid, I think. Yeah, £38. So pretty good price, and you know, it looks pretty cool, and of course it gives, you know, loads of useful information. So I mean, I'm pretty pleased with the performance of the computer. I mean, the only downside is those thermo-chill radiators are 14 years old now, thereabouts, probably even older. Like I said, there's 2 of them back to back in the X71. It does the job. It does the job. So at least you can see what I run Fallout 4 VR on, and what I do to encode video and whatever else when I'm not gaming. See, this one is normally pretty fast because all it's doing is it's just joining the two videos together, but because I've got Handbrake running at the same time, it's a little bit slower. I don't prioritize anything, I just sort of let it run, you know, at its sort of, you know, whatever it can use. I think Handbrake will use as much as your processing power or threads, cores or whatever as it can. You know, it's a pretty good program, especially since it's free. You know, it's pretty much the best program I've used for encoding. So anyway, there you go. I'll be back on VR hopefully soon. It's 1 o'clock here, so see you on there.